Time to shine today, varsity squad. It is Scott Ferguson, and I have, when she's feeling sassy, they call her Karen K, but her name is Coach Karen, Karen Gray. She is an absolute rock star who helps out the ladies out there really, really level up their life. She was originally known as the speech coach, which I should probably hire her too. I don't know if she takes men on, but she's a confidence and speech coach to young ladies across the United States and Canada. Karen is a financial advisor, began writing speeches and coaching part-time in 2008. What a hell of a year to be doing that too.
Right?
Everything was kind of falling apart. But what started as a necessity for a single mom blossomed into a side hustle and ultimately became her full-time passion, which she's a rock star at. Today, Karen is an international mindset and professional speaker whose mission is to help women level up, which we have the same tagline. So I love that. They level up their confidence to pursue their dreams, business, career, calling, and best life. And Karen, thank you so much for coming on the Time to Shine Today podcast. If you could, please introduce yourself to the varsity squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
I absolutely love purple. Thank you for asking, Scott. And I am blessed to be here. I'm so excited to just be on here with you.
Thank you. Purple's
I
regal.
do what?
Purple's
Purple's
regal.
regal.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
love
Yeah.
it.
So it's also the universal color for survivors, cancer
Yes,
survivors.
it is.
And that's a huge passion of mine as well.
Okay.
So my sister-in-law is currently going through a situation. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but
No.
she's an amazing woman. She has a brain tumor and she is just fighting strong.
I'm
So
glad.
cancer, I don't know anybody that cancer hasn't affected.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
taking that mentality of being a survivor is something that helps us all to level up.
No, I love that you actually kind of align that purple, which is true with a cancer survivor. I mean, unfortunately, I lost my mom to brain cancer in 2019, last year in September. So, I will say a definite prayer for your sister-in-law with her battle. That's fantastic. And to have people like you that are just surround her and be able to lift her up and level her up during these times is definitely key. And then I appreciate you coming on again, Coach. Could you kind of give us the origins of Karen and then kind of where you started and how you really started to kind of mold the leveling up for the ladies out there?
Yeah, gosh, that could be a really deep conversation, right? So, but I grew up in New Mexico. I
Okay.
grew up actually on an Indian reservation. And so I just had a really crazy, diverse childhood that changed and evolved as I then moved to Florida, lived in Tallahassee, went to FSU for a while.
Okay.
I've
Go
kind of
Knowles.
been, yeah, go Knowles, right? I've kind of been all over. And what I've experienced through that is some amazing things that just really, we are the culmination of our past. And what I've learned through that is to never prejudge anyone and that we all come with these bags from our past. So if you've lived any kind of life, you've got baggage and it's up to us to choose what we carry in those bags and how we use them to either level us up to the next part of our journey, or they can just drag us down into the muck and the mire of daily life if we allow them. So it's really just a mindset decision, and it can be absolutely transformational if you'll allow it, because we can choose to carry the lessons or we can carry the actual rocks. The
Wow.
choice is ours.
What did you say? Carry the lessons or the what?
Or we can carry the rocks.
Gotcha. So when you're working with clients, then are you digging into their past or you kind of learn about their past, start where they're at, and then level them up forward?
Everybody's at a different place when they
Sure.
come to coaching. And so it's really up to them. I don't have a one size fits all coaching
Love it.
plan. I really just address what they're comfortable. And sometimes when you get to asking the right questions and you just stay curious, which coaches, we're not supposed to figure stuff out for people. We're supposed to help them figure it out for themselves because the answers are within us.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we're just not ready to face those answers. We're not
Right.
ready to ask ourselves those questions. So it's just helping them to take that next step and
Love
then
it.
the next step. So, once they're ready to dig deep, the The solutions are there, the answers are there. And once you take the power away from the pain and you really just embrace the lesson, it helps you stop making that cycle over and over again, and you get to just move forward in a new path.
Love that. Thank you for saying that. To take the power away from the pain and embrace those lessons. So, what was your fork in the road moment then that really kind of said, okay, what was the instance that said, okay, I'm going to take this path to help ladies level up?
Yeah. So kind of as you mentioned, I started coaching young girls that were in the pageant world.
No,
My daughter was running for pageants and she was running for Miss Rodeo, whatever. It ended up being Miss Rodeo Texas and going to Miss Rodeo America. And I started coaching other girls as my daughter started having success. Because I started it because I couldn't afford to hire somebody. So I coached her. I spoke professionally as an advisor. So I coached her with what I knew. And then she started winning. So I started coaching other girls. Parents started asking me for help. And I just started seeing that there's this common thread in every single person, even though we think that person's got it all together. They didn't think that.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. And especially when you're in that lifestyle of a very highly competitive lifestyle too, that they're really underneath that surface, like almost like they're a duck on water, right? Where, they look fine on the surface, but if you look underneath the water, they're going like this just to keep afloat, right? I love it.
Yes. And, no matter where we are in life, we're our own worst critic.
Sure.
We're so hard on ourselves. We think we should be somewhere further along than we are.
Sure.
But ultimately, we all have these issues internally where someone has said something to us, usually in our childhood, probably between the ages of 4 and maybe 13.
Right.
A bit. But they've said something that has formed these ideas and assumptions about who we are, what we look like, what our value is, what we're capable of. And that stays with us. And so when you're putting yourself out there to be judged, whether it's in a contest or, in a relationship or, on social media, you're going to compare yourself and all of your flaws and brokenness to what you think is someone else's, amazingness.
Right.
You're never going to level up. You're never going to meet that assumptive other person.
Right.
That really doesn't exist.
They don't. The funny thing is all the greatness and the genius is actually inside us. They just need someone like you to help open some of the doors so they can walk through. I love the way that you had put that. So when you're starting to work with a client, if you don't mind sharing a little bit of your secret sauce that you kind of do to help them find their blind spot.
So really it's just asking the right questions, and there's no secret sauce other than for me to remain unattached to their end result so that I can remain impartial and just curious to help them to the next level, the next question, the next realization for them.
Sure.
And that's hard for me because I care so deeply about people. I really want to get invested in them and I want to cheer them on. And you can't really do that and coach someone well.
Right. Absolutely. I love that you say.
Effective.
Right. That's right. You have to be a little bit impartial to it and not attach yourself to their outcome, their end, but help guide them to where they feel that they should be going. I love that. So,
but you can ask them those questions and just help them to see some things that maybe they're aware of, but they don't want to accept.
Sure.
That are things that they're doing. And then just ask them, how could you see that differently? What would be the result if you chose to see it this way, or if you chose to see it the way that you want it to be? How would you feel if you embraced this ideal life that you really want? What would be different?
Wow.
And so when somebody feels like, this really could be possible for me, and I can see it's not from step 1 to step 100. Now it's step 1 to step 2 to step 3. Now it becomes possible.
Love
and
that.
The belief follows that. So.
Absolutely. We say here at Time to Shine Today, inch by inch, it's a cinch. by the yard. It's hard. So let them baby
Yeah.
step, like you said, instead of 1 to 100, 1 to 2 to 3. I love that. So if I'm out at a networking event, which here in Florida, no matter what the media says, we're able to do it. We still go out, we practice the whole safety and whatnot.
Right.
Um, and someone I'm listening to somebody, we're having kind of a one-on-one conversation. What kind of things are they saying to me that would make them a good contact, connection, or referral to Coach Karen?
I think, I hate to say I think, um, what I feel like is the universe kind of drawing me to people, if you
Mhm.
will, who I just resonate with because I don't pretend to be something I'm not. So if you're someone out there, a woman that's struggling with authenticity, someone that's struggling with the imposter syndrome, like I don't see that I'm good enough. I don't feel like I'm good enough. So if they're using words that are I don't, I can't, I won't, I'm not only can I help those women because I have the education and the training and the skills, but I think the difference for me is I'm strong enough to say I've been there.
I just say you're relatable to it.
I
I love
can't.
it. Okay.
And I know what that feels like. I know the struggle and the pain that comes along with that
Sure.
feeling of I'm never ever going to be measured up. And mine goes way deep. I was adopted when I was born and I formed these ideas around my adoption.
Hmm.
Um
Me too. So we're kind of covering the same sheet there. I love,
yeah, it just,
yeah.
so I think there's some special pain there for adoptees.
Hmm.
And then when you have any kind of rejection issues,
Sure.
so wherever that came from, those are things that I can really help you to take those rocks out,
Love it.
identify the rock, identify the lesson, and then you help someone choose which one do you want to carry forward, which one's serving you.
Sure. Love that. So then what keeps Karen up at night?
Everything. Holy smokes. I have teenagers, I have grandkids.
What?
Um,
Wow. Okay. All
yeah,
right.
I started when I was 5.
Okay.
No, I'm just
That's that
joking.
new immaculate thing, huh?
Yeah. No,
That's
I do
awesome.
have grandkids. I do have older kids, and then I have some young teenagers.
Okay.
And um, I think what really keeps me up is I've made a ton of mistakes in my life. I want to help people to make their own, don't make mine.
Okay. Love it.
And, who can I get in front of? How do I get in front of someone that I can help? How can I help that next person? And what am I doing to get in the way
Mhm.
of being available for them?
That's love. Such a go-giving spirit right there. You sound just like you're reading a Bob Berg book there. I don't know if you know who Bob is,
Oh,
but
yeah.
he's
I
a
have his
go-giver.
book, The Go-Giver.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, he's my neighbor here. He lives a few doors down. That's just fantastic. Love the
Sweet.
guy. Love the guy. So, how do you want your dash remembered? That little line in
Yeah,
between your
between your birth
incarnation,
date and your death date.
yeah, incarnation date and your expiration date. How do you want that remembered?
Um, I have thought about that, but I feel like that's really evolved through my last year.
Hmm.
Um, I want to live a legacy. I want to live a legacy of love, and I want people to know that they mattered. And so if someone's looking at my dash, I want them to feel like that they don't miss me because I'm gone, but they're better because I lived.
Love
That's what I
that.
want.
I love it. I love it. I love that. So let's get in that DeLorean though, then with Marty McFly. Let's go
Okay,
back to the 22-year-old Coach Karen. Well, she wasn't a coach probably back then, but let's go back to the 22-year-old Karen. What kind of knowledge nuggets, that's what we call them here at Time to Shine today.
yeah.
What kind of knowledge nuggets are you dropping on Karen to help her shorten her learning curve, blast through, and maybe level up quicker?
So
And
when I
would
was
she listen?
20, probably not. She was very bullheaded. But at 22, that's when I was searching for my birth parents
Hmm.
and really trying to figure out who I was and why I was here,
Okay.
why this journey for me. So I would impart trust the process, stop caring so much about the opinions of others who aren't adding to my life, the people who have no say, they're not giving, they're not, um, they have no bearing. Do it anyway. And my phrase, I got one of those bracelets that you can put words on, and I just went blank on impact bracelet. But
Okay.
my phrase for this year is do it scared. And so,
That's my quote. The people
is it
say
really?
that. Yeah. What's your quote? As I do it scared. I
Yeah,
say that every
right.
single time. What quote do you live by? I live by, don't take life too seriously. You'll never make it out alive, and to do it scared. I
Yeah.
love that. I love it. So what do people misunderstand most about Karen?
I think sometimes I'm really serious, and it's because I see situations and I just want to make them better,
Okay.
and um, I am full of emotions, and I love big, I love hard, but I think they misunderstand some of that for
Being almost overly competitive, not compassionate.
maybe.
Sometimes. Yeah, I can feel
Yeah,
like I'm the same way. I grew up competitive in combat sports even to this day. So I get it. People will be like, man, Fergie is like off the charts. When they see me, if we go have an adult beverage or we're just hanging out, they're like, man, you're so so we're actually pretty chill dudes. So people do misunderstand me a lot with that. So what is Karen's definition of a life well lived?
wow. If I can live out that example of my dash, and if people just know that I cared big, and that their life was better just for the opportunity that they gave me to know them and
Mhm.
to pour into them, and um, that's well lived.
Love it. So
I'm connected to Julie Ziegler,
mhm,
Zig's daughter,
mhm.
and she's my mentor and lifelong friend, and um, I just absolutely embrace and embody the lessons from her dad
Right.
and
I speak with his son, so
the
like a
Tom.
different, yeah. So you're right, man. It's fantastic what they bring. So as we look, wind things down here just a little bit, Coach. We like to do our leveling up lightning round, and you and I could talk 15, 20 minutes on each one of these, but you got 5 seconds, no explanations. And I'm serious, no explanations. We will
No
beep you.
pressure.
Okay,
No
just kidding.
pressure.
No, they can all be answered quickly.
Okay,
All right, ready to level up?
I'm ready. Let's
Here we
go.
go. What's the best leveling up advice Karen's ever received?
Do it scared.
Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Journaling.
Beautiful. So I'm in my doldrums, just not feeling it. What book are you saying, Fergie? Read this book. It'll help you level up.
Go giver.
There you go. Good answer. Good answer. What's your most commonly used emoji when you text?
The heart eyes.
Hard eyes. Beautiful.
I
Love it.
love everything.
I love it. I love it. So who had the biggest profound impact on your life?
Julie Ziegler.
Love it. Love it. So physically, and don't lie and bullshit and say it's your age now. Physically, if you could stay one age for the rest of your life, have the wisdom you have now and continue to learn, what was that age?
39.
Love it. Great age. Great age. Is there any favorite charity and or organization you like to give your time and or money to?
Wow. Gosh, there's so many good ones. Do I have to just pick one?
You can pick a couple. I'll give you a little leeway on this question.
Okay, so there's some the pregnancy resource centers that support adoption and helping
Yay.
moms to, just not consider abortion as the only option that they have.
Love it. Good for
Um,
you.
I'm 100% support of that. Being adopted, abortion could have
Yeah.
been considered. So I'm really grateful to be here.
Yeah.
Um, Gosh, that true cancer patient services.
Mhm.
Maybe not the big ones that you would consider, but the
Right.
ones, the boots on the ground that are really helping to fund.
Love it.
There's some local organizations here in our area that actually, they hand
Good for you.
give gas cards and things for
Sure.
patients so they can actually have a hotel.
Oh, I love that. I love it.
So
Good for you. And last question.
yeah,
What is the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
80s,
There you go. Big hair, don't care, right?
big hair, yeah, lots of hairspray,
There you go. Ozone
rock.
layer. Who needs it? No, it's funny. It's like the 80s is awesome because, you had, big hair, don't care. You had the British invasion, the Irish invasion with U2. You had rap music, they had everything in there. And
Yeah.
it's such
I was in high school in the 80s, so
okay.
the early
Me
80s,
too.
roller
Me too.
skating,
Yeah.
all the music. And then
Yeah.
later on, my
Yep.
first concert I ever went to was AC/DC
Oh,
in
nice.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. Why my parents let me drive to that at 16 years old.
I know, I do the same thing. My parents would let me drive from Detroit to Chicago when I was like a junior in high school. It'd be like, oh, just make sure you call us from a payphone. Here's a
No
bunch
cell
of quarters.
phone.
No one even cared about it. All right. So how can we find you, Coach?
Coach Karen Gray. That you can just look up Coach Karen Gray with an A, Gray, on LinkedIn, social media, everywhere. My website's coachkarengray.com.
Love it. All those will be in the show notes. And Coach, leave us with one last knowledge nugget. And you can repeat something you said before. It's fine. But leave us with one last knowledge nugget that you want us to take with us, internalize, and take action on.
Wow, no pressure here. I think that the biggest nugget that I want to share with anybody is to believe in the beauty of your brokenness.
Wow.
There's such wisdom there. There's experience there. That's where you're vulnerable, where people can relate to you at. And it's in that brokenness that you can truly find the biggest gifts, because that's where you learn. I mean, you don't learn when you're up on your highest moments. You learn when you're really in that broken valley.
Love it. It's true. So, it's true. If you
embrace it, quit running from it.
I'm a man of faith, so I mean, even in Psalms 23, which pretty much everyone knows, that even if they're not people of faith, but it doesn't say you wail through the valley of the shadow of death. You are walking through it. You keep going. You keep rocking. To believe in the beauty of your brokenness. I love that. And squad, we just had a free masterclass presented to you by my really good friend, Coach Karen Gray. That she'll remind us that we're the culmination of our past, that we should never prejudge anyone, and instead understand that everyone has baggage, respect that baggage, okay, and understand that. We can either make a choice to carry the lessons or the rocks. I say carry the lessons because you can learn so much and pull it forward. She's not a cookie cutter coach at all, which if you listen to this podcast, you'll understand what I'm saying. She wants you to take the power away from the pain and embrace the lessons and not the rocks, okay? A good coach is going to remain curious and impartial, and she will want you to ask, what would the result be if you choose to see it how you want to be? And then take that from inch by inch. It's essential to really move forward to that, not from 0 to 100, but from 0 to 1, and take those steps. And Coach Karen will, if you put it this way, if you're struggling with imposter syndrome, I don't, I can't, I want, I'm not, Karen is the one that I would love to introduce you to. She's a living legacy that has a go-giver spirit. She's going to tell you to trust the process and don't care about the opinions of those not adding to your life. And then again, believe in the beauty of your brokenness. Everybody has their problems. Let's pull the goodness from those forward and help you level up. And I'm so blessed to have you on, Karen. You level up your health, level up your wealth. You're such an awesome family matriarch. You're just humble, yet you're hungry. I can't wait to do some collaborations with you because so many of our things align. So I love to do it.
I love it. I love it.
Awesome sauce. We'll talk to you soon, Karen.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate you so much.
You're welcome.